Hey friends, and welcome back to the build on the camper van, and in this video we are going to be doing the floor. So first thing I need to do is actually clear this wood out, which is going to be the frame for the floor to sit on, and actually give the sheet metal a really good clean so there's no grease on there, so anything I stick to the metal will form a nice bond. Now, the way you see in the van at the moment, it's been completely stripped out, but this was not how I got the van. There was so much I had to take out the back of this. In the last video, I mentioned that this was a taxi, and the company, I believe they're called Cab Direct, who did the conversion on this van, really went overboard in terms of how well they stuck everything in. So for example, there was a big bulkhead in between here, which actually took days to remove. I thought it was going to be a couple of hours of work. I had angle grinders, sledgehammers and crowbars on that, trying to cut it into different pieces. It was welded in, it was riveted, it was bolted, and for some reason I think there'd been some water ingress, so the bolts had rusted as well, so they got themselves stuck in. Then there was the floor, which again was riveted in, and it was stuck down with adhesive. That all had to come out. And the amount of wiring that was on this van was incredible. This is extra wiring the Peugeot didn't stick in. It must have weighed about 15 kilograms, the bag. I still got up there. It's just a big bag of wires for all the taxi equipment, all the extra electronics and that kind of stuff. So that took days and days and days to actually figure out where it was going in to rip it out as well. Well, rip it out carefully because I didn't know what I wanted to use for the future, so I've kind of been careful of what I've kept up to this point. But anyway, I digress. So now we are at the point where we can stick the floor in, so let's go and get some all-purpose cleaner, get some microfiber towels, and get this floor nice and free of any grease and dirt. Right, so the floor is nice and clean. There's no grease on here, so any adhesive we stick down is going to bond nicely to it. And I'm going to be using some Sikaflex anyway, so this stuff is super strong. You get this on something, it ain't coming off. So next thing I need to do is get the wooden frame and stick this down. I'm actually going to be using the channels that the seats went to into as well at the back, because I can't remove them because the bolts with like a little hex head stay rusted in and they just won't come loose. So it's going to be a big job trying to get them out. So I might as well just use the height of them and use that as part of the floor. So I've got little pieces of wood that are going to go in front of it, and then some going across, which are not quite as high. So fingers crossed this all goes well, and then after that the floor can be, well, the insulation can go in, and then the floor can be screwed into that. The frame's been laid down into place just temporarily, so the next thing you need to do is get some Sikaflex and actually stick it down. It's going to be as simple as doing that for every single piece. So now it's time to put the insulation down, and this is almost like a bubble wrap with a foil lining on top, and on the back it's self-adhesive. So The tricky part of this is just going to be cutting it out so it fits in between the battens that have gone down, but I think with a sharp knife, it's not going to be too much problem. So we kind of got these horizontal ones going across here, so I'm actually just going to cut this firstly to that length in between here, and then I'll cut down to smaller pieces going across. So I'm going to try and line it up with the front one. I mean, this might not be the right way of doing stuff, I don't know. And then I'll feel where the edge is and just get the knife down like that. Put this down.
Yeah, I see it in the...
Yeah. And I'm going to try to place it in the hole here. I think if I push it down, yeah, that's good. You just hold it up like that. Right, so the first layer of insulation's down and it's all nice and sealed. The next thing is to actually stick this closed cell foam as a second layer, and then the floor can go underneath. Because there's not much headroom in this van, I have to be kind of limited with how much I can actually stick here on the floor and on the roof. So if this was a high top van, I'd probably be going for like this much insulation, but obviously I can't in this van, so the maximum I can go is to the height of these battens. So yeah, thankfully this one doesn't have to be quite as precise as this, because this is acting as a vapor barrier, the silver stuff. This one is more to reduce road noise and just to keep a bit more heat in, so I'm just going to cut them roughly to the shape and yeah, just pad them out, and hopefully then floor can go on and the van will start looking well, a lot more complete inside, and that's when the fun stuff really starts. So just like the other stuff, this is self-adhesive. Makes it much easier to work with. Yeah, just gonna do this every single one of the holes. I'm gonna patch the small gaps up, but if there's a slight gap at the edge, ain't a problem with this. Yeah, and then we'll be done. Well, we have to do the same thing to the roof as well, but and the sides actually, so no, we're not done, but we're one step closer anyway. Right, the insulation is all down. I've put some rubber mats down on the slightly thinner pieces of wood as well, just to make them all the same height. So now it's time to actually stick the woods in, so I'm using 12mm ply, and I've actually got very lucky with the wood for this van, because my dad is actually making a camper van out of the same van as this one. So he's got a 2016 Fiat Scudo, but it's actually the same van, a long wheelbase as well. And his one was a work van, and had the ply already in the back, and he'd already bought ply anyway, not knowing, because he was doing a different van. And well, basically there's a spare floor from one of these vans can go straight into mine. Now if you flip the plywood over, it's brand new underneath, so I'm going to use that as a floor for this one. So it's already pre-cut, pre-made. That saved me some money and also a lot of time. So I'm just going to get them out the garage, and then hopefully they'll just kind of slot into place, and then I can put a few screws in, and that's it, the floor's in. Well, with the floor down, the next thing to do is stick the roof in the van. So the insulation's all there now, using the exact same method as did on the floor. And now I've got to clean this headliner up, and being an ex-taxi in the lights colour, this is in pretty bad condition. Now the structure is okay, this comes in 3 parts. So this is the middle section we're looking at. As you can see, it's very, very fluffy all along the edges. I'm not quite sure how that's happened, and very dirty as well. So we're going to have to try and clean this up the best we can. And also there is lots of like sticky bits where there's been tape applied because the owner had stuck little lights inside. So I also need to try and get that off, but I think we'll have to use a steam cleaner for that. Otherwise we'll rip all the fabric. So first thing to do is defluff it and then give it a clean. As you can probably see on the camera, there is lots of fluff, and the best thing I found to get this off is just use one of these bubble removers for clothing. So just a simple case of going over and spend long enough and the bubbles will remove. And I find this to be the safest way, because if I start using a razor or something, there's a good chance that I can actually start damaging the fabric more and ripping it. So this might be a little bit longer, but the end results are actually pretty good when they're done. So I've maybe put about 60 seconds into that, and that's the difference between the 2 sides. So it makes massive improvements. Already, if we get this fluff off, this headline is going to look so much better than I did before. Alright, so after doing that, this looks so much better. I can't believe how much newer this already looks. But it's not perfect yet. So what I'm actually going to do is, in the middle here where there is still a little bit of fluff, I'm going to use some P400 sandpaper. And it's literally a case of just getting it and swiping it over like this. Now, the bubble remover's done a great job even in the middle, but because it's such a big area and some of it's very fine, what's left, just a quick going over like this really makes it nice and smooth and makes it look really fresh. And it's actually surprising how much dirt is getting cleared by removing these loose strands as well, so it's going to make the cleaning much easier when we get around to that stage next. Okay, so the roof's defluffed, it's nice and smooth. Next thing I want to do is try to remove as much of this dirt, just using some hot soapy water and a microfiber cloth. Then I'll go in with the steam cleaner and get these more stubborn stuff off. So, nothing special, just warm soapy water. Try not to make it too wet, a little bit on the cloth. And this is just going to be a case of not applying too much pressure, because I don't want to damage the fabric. But I can see that's already getting cleaner, and look how much is coming off that already, guys. That's crazy. I can actually see how much cleaner this looks with just a couple of swipes going over. That looks amazing, actually. I might be fortunate enough for most of it not to need the steam cleaner, which is a real bonus. Hey, check this out. This is looking so much better than it did before. I am so happy with this. The only thing that's left here is a little bit of adhesive, which is at the end, and some on this side as well. So I've got my steam cleaner out to get this off. But yeah, this looks so much better. I've actually got the other half there that goes behind it, which I've not touched yet. And look at the difference between them two. I mean, that one's disgusting, and that looks almost new compared to it. So it's really satisfying to see the before and after right next to each other like that. It makes it such a satisfying thing to do. So once that's done, I will do that one, and then the most exciting thing will be sticking it in the van, and then our roof's in, our floor's in. We can really get started on building the furniture after that. See, I'm down to the last bit and it's just not coming off, and I don't think we're going to get any better than that. So I can take as much off as I can, but I don't know what I can do to go over. I mean, I'm thinking if I can get some tape, fabric tape, it's the same colour as this, and I patch it, it's not going to be perfect, but it's probably going to take your eye off it. If you don't know to look for this, you're probably never going to see it. So, quick sneak peek of what's happening in the next video. There's work going on the front because we need to put a new strut because of a snap spring. There was a lot of trouble trying to get that off, but I'll explain that another time. And the welding is done, so that's nice and solid. So some body work coming up on the next video. But I want to show you the inside of the van. And it's starting to feel more like a camper van again, or not like the vehicle it was when I first got it. So firstly, the carpet's down, of course, with the floor, as you've already seen. Now, on here, I've used carpet tiles, which are just like this nice dark grey colour. They're not too dark, but they're good to repelling dirt, so they're going to stay nice and clean. The reason I've not stuck these middle bits down is I don't quite have enough tiles to do everything, and I need to extend further out into the carpet and then join it with the cabin carpet. So I'm going to be a couple short, but I don't know how much I need once I start sticking the furniture in. I do have tiles a slightly different colour. That will be fine once the furniture's in, but I just need to kind of finish off the plan. This is just stuck down with spray glue, so a nice job, nice and flat. Feels really nice to have that in there. Now if I look up, headliner is in, which I'm super happy about. So this just kind of feels like it's complete, going all the way back. And there's a little bit of wiring to go in for the lights, which I really like these lights, for example, because they're not wide up at the moment, but they're just push lights. This was part of the taxi conversion. That's not part of what the normal van is, as far as I know. So that's like a really nice tab. There's two there, and there's one at the front, so I can have these wide up to the leisure battery, which is going to be really, really cool to have. I wasn't able to, unfortunately, get rid of these sticky bits on the headliner, so I think I'm going to go and just stick some lights in there, or do something practical with it, and I'll cover it up that way. If not, I can maybe get that fabric tape as I talked about earlier, but that's where we are so far. I'm quite happy with this. I can start to feel the van coming together. There's more insulation that's going to need to go on the side, which you can see I've started to stick some in here. So then I can do that, I can stick the side panels back on, and yeah, it's just going to be really cool. And I'm excited now because it's starting to feel like it's almost at the stage where it can go back on the road. I even started using it just even as a bare shell, which is going to be also awesome. Hey, so that's where we are with the van at the moment. Now, apologies because this video was a little bit haphazard and there might be a couple of steps missed out along the way that didn't show on camera. But yeah, this is where it is at the moment. I'm happy with it. Next week, we're going to be doing the bodywork on it, getting it through its MOT. Hopefully by then, the van is going to be road legal. So if you want to see more videos of myself and Leisan on this van, you know what to do. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it, and until then, just thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again next week, so take care.